Samsung might finally be gearing up for a camera upgrade that actually surprises fans, and this time it could be a big one. A new leak coming from Fixed Focus Digital on Weibo claims that the upcoming Galaxy S26 Ultra might ditch Samsung's in-house 200-megapixel sensor in favor of a brand new Sony-made 200-megapixel sensor, and not just any sensor, but one that measures 1.1 inches. That would be a noticeable jump from the 1.3-inch sensor used in the current Galaxy S25 Ultra, which, despite its high resolution, didn't really wow anyone in terms of image quality this year. This new sensor could push the S26 Ultra closer to phones with 1-inch sensors like the Oppo Find X8 Ultra or Xiaomi 13 Pro. That means more light, more depth, and possibly a major leap in low-light performance and detailed cropped zoom shots. If this plays out, Samsung might finally deliver full-resolution to OMG photos that don't feel like a gimmick. Of course, we have to take it all with some skepticism because Samsung has always relied on its own camera tech for the Ultra series. And Sony hasn't even released a 200MP sensor for smartphones yet, at least not publicly. But rumors have been floating since March that Sony is working on a sensor exactly like this, and it might be time for them to challenge Samsung's dominance in high-megapixel smartphone imaging. What makes this even more interesting is that Samsung has been playing it safe lately. The S25 Ultra launch earlier this year left many fans underwhelmed, with barely any meaningful hardware changes and a lot of copy-paste from previous models. That's why a big shift like this, not just more megapixels, but a larger sensor from Sony, could be a sign that Samsung is ready to shake things up again. It also raises the stakes for early 2026, when the S26 Ultra is expected to be announced. If true, this could put the S26 Ultra in a stronger position against rivals who have been pushing the camera envelope while Samsung focused more on AI and incremental changes. Interestingly, Samsung's own camera strategy has been very controlled, and switching to Sony, even for just one component, would signal a change in mindset. The company seems to be listening, or at least recognizing that it can't keep releasing Ultra phones without Ultra improvements. With the Z Fold 7 and Z Flip 7 showing real upgrades this year, perhaps Samsung is taking the feedback seriously and lining up a real treat for S-series fans. Still, we haven't heard anything about changes to the other cameras on the S26 Ultra, so that's something to watch out for. Will we see better zoom, a new ultra-wide lens, or maybe improved video stabilization? Have you ever wondered why Samsung gave the Galaxy Z Flip 7 a bigger battery but left the Galaxy Z Fold 7 almost unchanged? It's something a lot of people are asking after the recent launch. On paper, it feels strange the Galaxy Z Flip 7, which is a smaller clamshell phone, now has a 4,300 mAh battery. That's just a tiny bit smaller than the Z Fold 7's 4,400 mAh battery, which is surprising considering how much bigger and more expensive the Fold 7 is. So what's the story behind this? Well, Samsung did respond to this question and gave a pretty straightforward answer. According to them, users of the Flip series really wanted a bigger battery. It was a common request and Samsung listened. That's why the Flip 7 got the upgrade. On the other hand, the Fold 7 users had different priorities. They weren't as focused on battery size and cared more about having better cameras, a thinner and lighter body, and a wider cover screen. And when you look at the actual changes made to the Fold 7, it makes sense. The Fold 7 is now thinner than ever, lighter than any book-style foldable on the market, and it comes with solid camera upgrades, so Samsung clearly focused on other things rather than battery size, but still, it doesn't fully explain why the Fold's battery couldn't also be improved. And that's where the bigger picture comes in. Unlike flip phones, the race in the book-style foldable category is intense. Brands like Honor, Oppo, and Huawei are all trying to release the thinnest and lightest foldables, so Samsung can't afford to fall behind. That's likely why they focused so much on making the Fold 7 thinner and more comfortable to hold, increasing The battery would have meant adding bulk and weight, which goes against the trend. Meanwhile, the flip phone market isn't in the same race. No one is fighting to make the slimmest clamshell, so Samsung had more freedom to boost the battery in the Flip 7. Also, until Samsung adopts new battery tech like silicon carbon anode batteries, we're not likely to see huge improvements in battery life without making the phone thicker. And we all know Samsung has been very cautious about battery safety ever since the Galaxy Note 7 incident years ago. They're not going to take risks with newer battery materials until they're absolutely confident they're safe and durable. So for now, trade-offs have to be made. You can either get a thinner and lighter phone or one with a bigger battery, but rarely both. With the Fold 7, Samsung clearly chose to focus on design, usability, and premium feel. That's probably a smart move considering who the Fold is made for: users who want a big screen. Could a fresh paint job actually convince someone to skip black and pick a new smartphone color for once? With the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, that just might happen. As we count down the final hours to Samsung's July 9th Unpacked event, one last leak has surfaced, and this time, it's all about colors. According to the latest image leak, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 will launch in 3 standard color options: Jet Black, Silver Shadow, and Blue Shadow. And for once, the black version won't be stuck as an online exclusive. Jet Black returns in full form, giving minimalist fans the all-time favorite sleek and bold look. Silver Shadow is also making a comeback, though reports suggest the tone has been slightly tweaked from what we saw on the Galaxy Z Fold 6. And then there's Blue Shadow, the standout of the trio. It's a deep, stylish tone that replaces last year's navy and has already shown up in a recent hands-on image of the Fold 7. The Blue Shadow finish has sparked some nostalgic feelings, especially for those who remember gaming on the blue and black Nintendo DS Lite. And when you see the Blue Shadow color sitting next to the black front display of the Fold 7, it's easy to get pulled in by the blend of modern and retro vibes. These colors might be the most visual upgrade, but the Fold 7 is expected to deliver much more than just a new coat of paint. Samsung's latest flagship foldable will reportedly measure just 8.9 millimeters when folded, making it thinner and easier to handle. It's powered by the new Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, and it runs Samsung's refined One UI interface. Plus, the Fold 7 is rumored to come with 7 years of software support, matching what Samsung promises on its Galaxy S and other flagship lines. Add in a dramatically improved display crease and you've got a device that doesn't just look futuristic. It feels like one. But not everything is perfect. One potential downside is the battery. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 is said to come with a 4,400 mAh battery. While that might be fine for many users, it could be a deal breaker for power users who need more juice to get through the day. In comparison, rivals like the Oppo Find N5 and Honor Magic V5 offer much larger batteries, and they don't lag behind on performance or software support either. In fact, the Honor Magic V5 also promises 7 years of software updates, putting it neck and neck with Samsung in that regard. So, if battery life is your #1 concern, those might be worth a look. For newcomers to the world of foldables, spending top dollar on a Galaxy Z Fold 7 might feel risky.